Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Bean here, and today we're gonna do a book haul. This isn't every book that I've gotten in the past 3 months, mostly because I have done a very terrible job at keeping track of said books that I have hauled in the past 3 months. But this is generally the books that I have gotten in the past 3 months, mostly because I just went to Barnes & Noble on half price like last weekend, and would like to share these with you. I was not able to post on Thursdays because this week was absolutely nuts. Thank you very much. But I'm actually going to start with the 2 book box books that I got so far this year. I haven't gotten the March box yet. It was delayed because of a printing error, I guess. They're really great about keeping us updated on it, but we should get them by the end of the month, so that's good. And I'm going to hop right into it because there's a solid number of books here, and this could take a little while. So the book box that I get, if you don't know, is the Unplugged book box, and they've been doing exclusive covers and printed sprayed edges and printed foiled actually like hard covers of the books as well, which is really cool. The January book was The Sleepless by Victor Manabo. This is basically what if a pandemic happens, imagine that, and everybody loses not everybody, how much is it? And a quarter of the world permanently loses the ability to sleep without any apparent health implications. It's got beautiful sprayed edges, which I am absolutely in love with. They're so pretty. Normally the cover is purple and yellow, I believe, and then the hardback looks like this. It's so pretty, so cool. I love it so much. I haven't read this one yet. I haven't read much yet this year. Feels so bad. But this was the first book that I got. The February book of the month was Her Buried Lives by Caitlin L. Duncan. This is a thriller about a girl who gets visions and struggles to stay in this reality. And so she goes home in order to try and figure out what's happening, only to find out that she's not the only one in her family that has visions like this. And this is a family thing, and it kind of throws everything into a spiral. This also has really pretty sprayed edges. Focus, thank you. And then in February, they started doing under the jacket covers as well, which it's creepy, but this is the foiled covers, really pretty again. And I am very glad to get this subscription box. It is wonderful, and I am planning on doing a video where I actually read through the first chapter of the books from this box that I have not read yet, and I do want to end up deciding whether or not I'm going to keep, just because I want to make sure that I still enjoy all of these books. So the ones I have read, I do enjoy, but like keep going. They have Unplugged book box has these like random books, it feels like. They're all over the place as far as genre and all of that. So I'm very intrigued, and yeah, these are the first 2 books that I got. Next they're going to be kind of in no particular order, but I did order from Amazon. I got Disfigured on Fairy Tales, Disability, and Making Space by Amanda Leduc, I believe it is. This is examining disabilities in fairy tales. This is a nonfiction book, I believe, and it basically is examining how fairy tales have affected our view of disability. So I'm very intrigued by this concept. I grew up in a world full of disability, physical and mental, in my life. I have an older brother in a wheelchair, and I had another older brother who also was mentally disabled, very much so. And mental health has been a big part of our lives. So yeah, it's a big part of my life, and I'm very intrigued how fairy tales have affected that view. So this actually is very interesting to me. I'm quite excited to read it. Also as a writer, I feel like it's important for me to understand this as well. Alright, keeping with the random books ordered from Amazon. The next is the first 2 books in a series. I have read the first one, not yet the second one. The third one is not yet out, but I do plan on ordering it, and that is The House Switch. This is the first book. It's just The House Switch Book 1 and then House Switch Book 2. These are by Delmak. And I actually read this one on Kindle Unlimited, and oh my gosh, guys, this book is so cozy. It's so sweet. It's so cute. It's so cozy. It makes me so happy. All of the characters. This follows a house witch named Finley Ashby. Oh, Ashawan. I'm sorry. Finley Ashawan, who ends up at the palace, and he gets a job as the head chef. He's relatively young, so people kind of doubt. But then it turns out his food is like the most delicious food in the world. It is the most delicious food that anyone has ever had. And people start to get curious about him. Now, Finley is a witch, but he doesn't advertise that fact because witchcraft is still kind of hunted down to a point, and people are very judgmental of witches. He is what is known as a house witch, which means that basically any home he is in, his magic strives to make it comfortable, clean, and to make anybody who lives in that home as happy as possible. So the happier the house witch, the happier the home. This book is so cute. So I read it in like 2 days, absolutely devoured this, loved it so much. So I had to order it, but I didn't jump right into the second book, and I will tell you why. Because I read a review online after I finished the first one that commented saying, do not jump into the rest of the series right away. You will be in a hangover. And the hangover lasts a while. And after finishing it, as I thought about it, I completely agree. Reading both of these two books at once would have put me into a reading slump that would have lasted a long time. They're so good, and all I wanted to do once I finished the first one was reread it again and again and again, and I reread a couple parts, but I'm very excited. The second book apparently picks up right where the first one left off, and I'm so excited to read the second one, and I will be ordering the third one, don't worry. So yes, these two are now on my shelf, and if you like cozy, if you like fantasy, if you like magic and all things sassy, read these books. They're so good. Now let's get on to my pre-order. So I actually did pre-order some books. I actually have one that'll be coming hopefully next week or the week after, and that's the next volume of Spy X Family. But I do have 2 pre-orders because I barely pre-ordered anything, also because we're planning on moving, so I've tried not to, but also because I have so many books on my shelves that I have not read. I really need to read them. But I couldn't help myself with these 2. So the first one is, everybody's loving this. It is this behemoth of a thing, A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. This is the prequel novel to Priory of the Orange Tree, which I read, I believe, last year or the year before, but there is a reading vlog for that one, so go watch that. I might do a reading vlog of this one as well. If anybody is interested, let me know down below. But this explains why Priory of the Orange Tree happened, and I'm so excited. I loved Priory of the Orange Tree. It was dense, it was fantastical, there are dragons, and I mean, guys, this cover, like, it is beautiful. The back of this book is beautiful. It's focusing, good. It's just this, it's huge. And the thing is, it is unnecessarily large because this book is under 1,000 pages. Like, it is, I'm not looking at spoilers, the 846 pages. And that's just excessive. Like, these books are just, they have thick pages. So, that's why it looks as large as it is. I know it looks intimidating. It's a brick. You could hurt someone with it. But I'm so excited to read this. I'm so excited. The next pre-order I have is the finale to a series that I am reading, and that is Symphony for a Deadly Throne by E.J. Mello. This is the 3rd and final book in the New Psy trilogy, following 3 sisters who are, in essence, sirens. The first book follows the youngest sister, who is a singer. The second book follows the middle sister, who is a dancer. And the third book follows the eldest sister, who plays the violin. And it's all about their different adventures, finding love, and basically saving their father's underworld of sorts. So, I love it, and I love these covers so much. They're so beautiful. I believe this is she falls in love with a guard, or he's in love with her. I think it's one of those, like, friends to lovers kind of thing for this one. Alright, next I'm gonna do actually a gift, and this one got a little bit more bent than it was before, but this was from Callie, and she gave me one of her copies of Spice Road by Maya Ibrahim. She actually gave me this because it came damaged, and at work, we spend a lot of time fixing books. I work at a library, at a public library, so we don't buy new books every time there's a rip on one of them, so it doesn't bother me nearly as much as it bothers some other people because I'm actually very used to these. I can tape it and I can flatten this and it'll be fine. Will it be as good as the original was? Probably not, but you know what? The book's still intact. The book's in excellent condition. Look at these end pages! Like, I don't subscribe to Fairy Loot or Owl Crate or anything, but dude. Also, we've got our end pages and we've got pretty cover and alternate cover with other people, and so she actually contacted them because this was damaged and they sent her a brand new book, so she gave me her old one. And oh, there's the people on the other end page. I don't know. There's so much. I don't know what this book is about. I have absolutely no idea. I've been seeing it around, yes, but it says whoever controls the spice controls the kingdom itself, and that sounds very much like the Spice Road of history, like the actual history, the actual spice trade and stuff. So, I'm intrigued. I would like to see what happens. I think there's magic. I don't know. There's people with stabby stabs and a guy with a bow and arrow, so that's kind of cool. And we'll see! And it looks bad because it's ripped, but I'll fix it, I promise. I just haven't gotten there yet. Alright. Now we're gonna move on because what we did is Callie and I actually went to Half Price Books and then Barnes & Noble. And at Half Price, I did unhaul 3 bags of books and I ended up getting like $16 worth of stuff, which was really awesome. So I'm gonna go through my Half Price haul and then my Barnes haul, and then that's it. It's just a quick little haul, guys. I hope you enjoy it. This is my pretty bag I have that all my books go in now. I don't know, I wanted to share. Alright, the 2 books that I got. Alright, so the first book that I picked up was a romance, and I picked up The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This was a Good Morning America book club book, and I've also just heard very good things about it. I believe she falls in love with a ghost, but I don't remember, and I'm not gonna look because if I know the general premise of a romance, it kind of ruins the entire story for me, so I'd rather just go into everything blind and see what happens, maybe. I don't know. That could be interesting. If I read a bunch of, like, romance books and just don't know what's gonna happen and let you know what I think, that could be interesting. That's an idea. Alright, but I did pick up this one and I am very excited to read it. It's just a short little book too, it's not that long. And the next book I got, if you have been on this channel for long, you know I have a collection of Tolkien books, and I am slowly making my way through collecting all of the History of Middle-earth books. I don't have a lot, I have like 4 of them. But this is the Book of Lost Tales, Volume 2. I didn't realize it was red. I thought for some reason, because the three I already have are all green. And then we went to Half Price Books and they were like red and blue and white, and I was like, wait, they come in other colors, and I got really excited. And I was very good. There were 8 there that I didn't have. I only picked up 1. I kind of wish I grabbed them all. But I do plan at some point on reading all of these. Whether I do that in like a series or something. I might do that on my other channel or something if you guys are interested. But I am very excited to be collecting these. These are the history of Middle-earth, so understanding what happened before, during, and after the Rings of Power and what led to that and all of this. I'm so intrigued by this history. Mostly also because I love fantasy history. Like, it's so amazing how some people's minds work in creating stuff like this, and I would love to be able to do this someday. This is ideal. This is wonderful. This is what I want to do. So I am taking what I can to learn, and this is a great way to do it. Alright, the last 4 books I have are all from Barnes & Noble haul, and they're basically all romance, because who am I anymore? I don't know. The first one I picked up is To Get to the Other Side by Kelly Ohlert. I have started this one actually, very briefly. I read through the first couple chapters. It's interesting, it's quirky, it's honestly a little disappointing. But I am intrigued by this one because it does start with a chicken, and the chicken is a very big character in this book. So I'm curious to see how that goes. But it is a romance, basically, between these two. She picks up a chicken off of the side of the road, and then he is looking for someone to rent out a room. Well, he's not. His sisters end up renting out an extra room in his house, and she takes the rent, and things happen. So it'll be interesting. It sounds like a forced roommates, forced proximity type of thing. I don't know. We'll see. There's a chicken involved, though. I'm just curious about the chicken, honestly. We'll see. The next book that I got is actually one that I got because of the cover, and we have actually met the author before, and that is There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. This is the first book in a duology, and it's called The Sinner's Duet. There we go. This is the first book in the Sinner's Duet, and I just want these books because of the covers. She writes mafia romance, which I haven't actually read yet, but I do have Brutal Prince on my... I haven't actually read Brutal Prince yet, but it is very high up on my TBR to read, and I also have the next book, Stolen Heir, in that series. 4-book series? I think 4-book series. I don't remember. On my TBR, and I do own the first two, so it'll be interesting. So this is the illustrated edition of the book, and like it's got like illustrations throughout. So here's some dude standing in the rain. At least he's got an umbrella. But yeah, it's got cool papers. I don't know, it'll be interesting. I'm very curious by this. There are official soundtracks. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm intrigued to read this. I'm honestly really intrigued to get into her books to begin with, so yes. She is also an Apolycon author, so that's fun. Now, I was kind of walking around the romance section and I was complaining. Rude. Is that better? Stay. Alright, so I was walking around the romance section of Barnes & Noble, and I will admit I was kind of having trouble because I'm very picky with my romances, honestly, and that's why a lot of them don't work for me, is that I do need substance to my romance. I don't appreciate the porn no plot stuff unless it's fan fiction. That's a whole other ballgame, and that I know going into it that's what it is. I'm not paying for that. And it's not something that I enjoy. So the person at one of the booksellers actually overheard me, and she goes, "Are you looking for romance with plot?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And she goes, "All right, follow me. I have one." And I said, "Okay." So I followed her because you listen to your booksellers and they provide you with what you want. And apparently what I want is The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. This book went around a while ago. I think it was actually last year that it was a big book for a while. But it is a romance with a mortician. And right there she had my attention, and then we read the back and there's fantasy. And now I'm curious. So I'm curious to see what this is. It is a longer book, so I'm very hopeful that there's going to be a solid plot line to it, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I am intrigued by this. Again, that's what I know about it, is she's a mortician. It looks like it's between a mortician and a marshal. So, and the last book that I got is actually another end to a series, and that is Dance with the Devil by Kit Rocha. I have the first two books in the Mercenary Librarian series, which are Deal with the Devil and The Devil You Know. This is a dystopian story that follows genetically enhanced humans in a revolution against the oppressors. I think it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It is a niche series. It is genetically enhanced humans in a dystopian world. But this last one follows two interesting characters that we get to know all right in the first two books. But I'm very curious to see their romance because I think it's going to be the most challenging to convince me of, that it's not just we want to have sex and that's it kind of romance. yeah, so I'm curious to see. There's apparently infiltration into the higher up areas in this book, so I'm curious to see how they finish out this series. This is the longest book in the series. It's not long books. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And those are my recently hauled books. Hold on, let me get them all down. So yes, hold on. Who needs to lift weights when you have books? So yes, these are the books that I have hauled in the past couple months. Considering I did get rid of a pile that was bigger than this one, I'm really okay with my haul so far. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys here today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry, Kitty Cat did not make an appearance. She's sleeping right now and I should not disturb the beast. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, now is the perfect time. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, post a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys have hauled in the past couple weeks. I'm a little behind on my hauls because I haven't been buying books. I am trying to read what I have. But yes. So until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep reading. Bye!